Uh, I don't
I,
see anybody. Did anybody connect?
no, sir, they are watching in the YouTube.
Oh, okay then.
Okay, so I will
Excellent.
start from myself. Sure. Okay. So
Yes,
first,
yes.
good noon, Dr. Urtak Committee. It's a truly a pleasure to have you with us today. A warm welcome to everyone joining this live session. We are excited to such an eager audience ready to learn and engage. So get comfortable and get ready for an insightful discussion again. So feel free to share your thoughts and questions along the way. So let's make this an interactive and enriching experience for all. So ladies and gentlemen and dear friends, it's an absolute delight to welcome you all to the exciting session on why consultants matter in politics and economics in the 21st century. In a world that constantly evolving, where decisions can shape economics and influence political landscapes, consultants play a crucial role in guiding leaders, organizations, and policymakers toward informed and strategic choices. Today, we will explore how their expertise helps navigate complex challenges, drive impactful policies, and create sustainable solutions in both political and economic spheres. This session is not just about theories and strategies, it's about real world impact. Whether you are a student or a professional or just someone curious about how consulting shapes the modern world, you are in for an engaging discussion. So let's dive in and share ideas and uncover the significance of consultants in shaping the future. And before we start Dr. Udak's session, I would like to give some short introduction about him. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute privilege to introduce our esteemed guest speaker today, Dr. Urtak Hamiti, a seasoned professional with an impressive 17 years of experience in consulting, B2B management, and research analysis. Throughout his career, he has provided strategic guidance to businesses, leveraging deep analytical insights to drive decision making, optimize operations, and foster growth. His expertise spans across multiple industries, including security and defense, mining and minerals, where his consulting services have led to operational success and sustainable business strategies. Beyond consulting, Dr. Hamiti is a research and powerhouse specializing in market research, competitive analysis, and trend identification. He has led research teams in crafting methodologies, analyzing complex ideas, and delivering actionable recommendations that fuel business expansion. His approach is all about structured execution over reactive decision making, ensuring that organizations are well equipped to tackle challenges and seize opportunities. Today, we have the incredible opportunity to hear from the leader who combines strategic foresight with practical execution. So, let's give a warm welcome to Dr. Huda Hamiti. Before we get started with today's session, I want to take a quick moment to introduce you to Thames Tech Solutions, a pioneering research venture that's redefining the landscape of technology. At Thames Tech Solutions, we are all about bringing innovative engineering, management, and scientific tech solutions to the table. What truly sets us apart is our commitment to providing high quality, forward thinking solutions while ensuring they remain affordable. Our team of professionals is always ready to deliver tailored business plans that meet the unique needs of our client. We offer a wide range of services, including digital marketing, web designing, server management, Android and iOS app development, and AI tools, to name such a few. Our expertise spans various sectors such as industrial research, aerospace and defense, electronics and energy, medical applications, and many more. This wide breadth allows us to drive innovation and efficiency across all industries. And top of all this, we have an exciting initiative called Mastering a Platform. It's a free platform which aims to unlock the potential of young learners by providing them with valuable skills for the future. So we invite you to be the part of this platform and help inspire and educate the next generation. So let's work together to create a brighter tomorrow. At the end, I would like to introduce to the motto of Dr. Huda. It's a motto. strategic foresight, data driven decisions, and sustainable success. So, I would like to hand over the session to Dr. Urdak, and also thanks a lot for joining us today. And over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, dear colleague. I hope you can all hear me loud and clear. Thank you for that nod. And the purpose of this, let's say, as much as we can make it interactive session, is to just explore a little bit the role of consultancy in political and economic matters in the context of 21st century. Now, context is of course very important because political consultancy has been around uh, since mid 20th century basically. Initially, it has focused on media relations, on their influence then encompassed later on digital marketing, polling, grassroots mobilizations, reflecting in voter behavior, etc., and technology. But back then, it was a little bit slower because politicians and political parties mainly had marketing agencies or consultants only during elections or at the elections period. In 21st century now, as we see it, it's something different. Consultants play a role since, let's make it this way, since being a politician now in the world of digital media and everything around it is a 24-hour job. Basically, uh, political consultants have to deal with the media, with social networking, with the polls, with weekly polls, with voter interests, and answer and give policy guidance to each and every question that arises about a certain political party or certain politician. Now, when I say that, usually teach my students the difference between politics and policies because a lot of people, let's not say a lot of people, but a large amount of people, they do not distinguish these two. And they have this idea that politicians are professional politicians, whereas policies can't always change. Now, that is not the case. We know that because politics and political parties are created on sole basis, according to the political sciences. A political party is a group of people solely gathered around a program or ideology for the sole purpose of getting into power and making decisions and implementing those decisions. During the creation of that program, consultants are very important because consultants have basically the pulse of the people, what the people need, certain demographics, and also advise candidates or parties on strategies, on messaging, on public relations. Consultants basically leverage data analytics, voter psychology, not even that, to craft compelling narratives that resonate with the electorate and drive their engagement. And when I say that, I mean motivate them because motivation of voters and keeping them informed is very much part of what consultancy is about because candidates or political party leaders, they really do not have the time to go door to door or write articles or answer on social media. And social medias are now very important, probably to some degree as important as television itself. And newspapers are all gone digital, most of them as we speak. So there are several strategies and tactics that are being used now, as you can see, in the world, and who covers international politics knows that there is one tendency on the rise, and that tendency is political populism. May that be on the right, may that be on the left side, it's the same thing. Before, there were political parties, mainstream, what we now call mainstream parties, who had their strategies and had their programs. But now, with populism and with the rise of populism in the 20th, late beginning of 21st century, but basically mostly in the last decade, we see a rise of parties who are basically, they do not have a fixed shift ideology, but they focus on mainly one, two, or maximum three ideas. We have seen that in the campaign of United Kingdom or Britain, when Britain decided in 9 years ago to leave the EU, United European Union. It was one idea: leave EU, and that's it. The whole campaign was about leaving EU and nothing else. Also, we had that rise in France, we have that rise in Austria, in Europe. I'm talking about Europe. We have that rise in Germany now, and in other parts, also in Belgium, and a little bit in Netherlands. And the idea is now immigration in Italy as well, where Giorgia Meloni's Fratelli d'Italia party won on only one platform. That was anti-immigration platform. Everything else works just fine. And that has been done by consultants who tapped into basically what is called what the voters want, or what the voters dislike. And they tapped that immigration idea, and that idea brought them to power. That idea brought to the rise of AfD in Germany and the rise of Marine Le Pen's Front National in France. But beyond that, uh, the platform is a little bit thin, because immigration is not the only problem of European Union countries, but it worked. It worked in elections. And that is the role of the consultants, because they tap into voters and into grassroots units that they can get into. Now, I'm going to focus a little bit on the role of data analytics. Uh, they are very crucial now, and parties and politicians and their teams have all the times they have data analytics, which play a crucial role, while consultants try to identify trends, target specific demographics, and tailor messages that resonate, ultimately enhancing voter outreach and engagement. That is their job at that position. Now, key functions, as I said, and I emphasize this more, of political consultants is to perform and be able to perform various functions: strategy development, media planning, and also opposition research, mainly researching the ideas of the opposition, the stances of the opposition, and where the opposition, which actually is the opposition when we're talking about political parties, and what they target. Their expertise allows candidates, political candidates, then to navigate what is called complex political landscape, ensuring effective communication with the voters. The role of political consultants, to some degree, also raises the importance of ethical questions, issues of transparency, accountability, and the potential for misinformation must be addressed to maintain political trust in political process. Now, this means that consultants are often tasked to fact check everything before candidates say or write or declare. We know that the candidates and political candidates use strategies, let's say it's not strategies to deceive voters, but sort of to direct the dialogue with them in a certain direction, which suits them basically. And that's why consultants are there to say, for instance, you, to X and Y person, you shouldn't use this strategy or you shouldn't go down this road because the mistakes are here and are here and are here. We have, for instance, and I can use this, uh, U.S. president in first term, and even in now in current term, uses a lot of data that is not, let's say, not true in the most subtle way of expressing myself, because his consultants drive that attitude to this current US president to reach a specific target audience, which is only his target audience, which means polarization of the political landscape. But then again, it works in America for some reason, and it does not work in other countries for some other reasons. But that's their strategy. That's what they did, and that's what they keep on doing. Also, consultants have a significant influence on voter behavior. How? Through targeted messaging and outreach. Their strategies can sway public opinion, mobilize supporters, and ultimately affect the outcome of any elections. A wrong message can drive a wrong idea. Issues such as women's rights, issues such as rights of minorities, issues such as abortion are very complex issues, and they often tend to tip the balance if parties are very close to each other. Uh, if we decide on economic models, now we know that currently, in one way or another, capitalism is the economic model of the world. Uh, Even China or Russia, well, not Russia is not communist anymore, but even China, which is a formerly a communist run a country, uses capitalism as a model. So that is also important, and that is where political consultancy intersects itself with consultancy in economics. When we discuss digital uh, campaign strategies, consultants draft targeted ads, targeted specific ads, and manage online presence, allowing candidates to connect with voters more directly and personally than before. We see this on formerly known as Twitter. See this on X. We see this on Facebook, and these are messages which are actually basically transmitted to voters in real time. Before it was television addresses, but now there are tweets, and politicians use tweets in real time. immediately after meetings or statements, you have a message. And apart from that message, you have more messages supporting that message, or what is used to, or what we is used to call in politics, hammering the message to present it as much as it can to the voters, supporters, and voters, supporters, and the public. Now, case studies of success, mostly we can use several of them. I said first, Britain and British leaving the EU was a, is a perfect study of success. How a political party, which is the Tory Conservative Party, used the Leave campaign, and it was only Leave campaign to win, to leave Europe and also stay in power for the next 10 years by trying to implement that Leave campaign. Now, in in my view, they also destroyed the Tory party by doing that, but that is my view, and that is also the view of other experts. But they did that to first win the elections because it was the Tory Prime Minister David Cameron who said, if we win elections, we will offer the voters the chance to leave the EU. And he was true to his words. He offered them a chance, and they did. They did actually leave EU. Latest polls, I might add, now show that 56% of Britons would like to join the EU again because of the economic downfall that Britain lost, actually went through, and inflation, and also the downfall of British pound as well, because the market in EU is no longer available, and the markets otherwise for British products are quite substantially uh, undervalued. Basically, their products cannot be sold anymore. Future trends in political consulting will likely involve, and we are seeing that now, the increased reliance on technology, on data driven strategies. As voter preferences evolve, consultants must adapt and maintain relevance and effectiveness in campaigning. And in this initial stage, in conclusion, political consultants play a pivotal role in shaping modern campaigns. The strategic influence grounded in data communication is essential for candidates to connect with voters and achieve electoral success. In my personal uh, experience so far, I used to serve in the team of consultants of Kosovo's prime minister. That was that in 2007. Basically, when Kosovo was being created as a country, and when the negotiations to create this country were being held alongside with the international community and with the Republic of Serbia, from which Kosovo broke during the war of the 1998 and 1999. During that period, and that was a period that lasted about 2 years, I was tasked to communicate with the media by not say leaking them information, but by keeping them informed about what was being held during the negotiations, how talks are going, and by specifically targeting to our audience the messages that we wanted to give, which were, of course, first of all, agreed among us, and then we would, specifically myself, I would talk to journalists. I would talk to uh, other pressure groups to inform them, while Prime Minister and his team would do the official talks and official appearances. This is going now uh, also elsewhere. Elsewhere, consultants are used to influence the media, and it is normal in a way because also the media are now shifting their policies to suit specific political agendas, and that is an ongoing feature in the 21st century. Uh, I will now choose the topic of political consultancy and get to the economic consultancy. Economic consultancy is not quite different from political consultancy, but it has another idea. The idea of consultancy in economy is the idea about brands and about products. Uh, the ABC of this is we have a company, we have a brand, we want to sell something, so we need to also have a strategy uh, into which we can do some polling, get a marketing strategy, get a research team to see if that product is available, is usable, can we sell it, how can we sell it, who can we influence. Now, if we're discussing, for instance, natural resources, that involves the government of certain country, a certain company. In my case, it was Lydian International. It was a large UK and Australian and Canadian company, which was involved in Armenia, in Australia, here in Kosovo, mainly searching for natural resources, which was gold, silver, uh, zinc, and for that you need licenses. Those licenses can be obtained from government officials, but in normal process and in democracies, you have to one has to, let's put it this way, one has to uh, obtain licenses by due process, which is transparent, which is competitive, and which offers the best benefit for the company, for the people, and for the government, or let's say the taxpayers. In other parts of the world, and I'm not going to say that, but I have to mention where democracies do not exist, consultants are often misused for bribery or other influences to politicians, and that's why they get in trouble most of the times. Uh, as I have to mention, this is, of course, as I said, about branding and about selling a specific brand. And in such a competitive world now, with such uh, opportunities, and with globalism on the rise and always omnipresent, where one can, let's say, invest in Kosovo, from Kosovo in India, or from India to Kosovo without a problem, and open a company over there. I know, for instance, here you can open a company in 2 days. By having that ability, the consultants are very much needed because those are the people that can, uh, if I may use this expression as loosely as I can, open doors to companies and open doors to potential investors so they can get in. And the aim of any company is to make profit, of course. By doing so, by meeting the criteria, That's where the role of economic consultants is important. It's also important to say that for specific products, for instance, and I'm still even now a consultant of two defense industries. One is Canadian and one is American. Uh, the issue there is even more delicate because when you're dealing with arms sales, uh, you have to basically one has to go through specific checks, which are security checks, has to have a clean profile, and also has to have an audience, which is basically a country, because as you all know, weapons and defense industry is under huge scrutiny, also from the voters, also from the media, and also from the law enforcement agencies. That is why that job is very delicate, and that is why who is being tasked with that has to be very careful to follow rules, guidelines of specific countries of operation and also of the country of distribution. Uh, I would not say anything more on the issue because I think I believe I've been quite brief. I'm open to any question that comes from the audience. May that be specific opinion of my own or of my own experience. Thank you so much for your attention so far.
Yeah, first of all, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. So I have some questions here. So shall I ask the questions now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. Okay, in my first question, how will AI and automation impact the role of political and economic consultants in the next decade?
That is actually the question that everybody is asking. AI will impact this role for sure because AI can do market research and analytics faster than any other agency. That's number one. Number two, AI cannot, as far as I know, generate policies, but they can enhance by comparing different countries at the same time and by having that data in front of a certain politician is much easier to decide the strategy of how they want to go ahead in their political goals, which means how they want to step up or step down in certain specific targeted fields. Also, AI is important in demographics because AI can calculate the demographic target, specific target, what the youth thinks, what women think, or let's say gender differences, what is important. For instance, as a characteristic, I don't know how it is in India because I don't know, but in Kosovo, for instance, the majority uh, of the voters are women, and nobody knew that until data came out. And now, normally we have data census in 10 years' time. Now AI can generate that in a second. You just include all the data, they can generate how the percentages of women will be in basically in 5 years time. And that's something incredible because nobody can generate that faster. In economics, it's a bit different because AI is so far cannot let's say predict India's boom in certain technologies or even crash of certain technologies or crash of certain businesses because they can't do that so far. But in gathering data, in statistics, in analytics, I think AI is quite important, and the role will be even more important in years to come.
Okay, great. Thank you, sir. Okay, my next question. What emerging challenges will consultants face in shaping global economic policies and amid increasing geopolitical tensions?
That's also a good question, and the answer to that is it all depends on the markets, because now we're talking geopolitical changes, and we're talking about something that used to be a global market is going to be a fractured market, into which countries are gonna go in no longer in international but more transactional dealings, and that is consultants in that degree are important because they make the initial contacts between governments, and then the governments or political leaders go and decide. And what we see basically on TV is actually the finalization of a job that's been done or conducted, negotiations conducted 3, 6, 9 months. It matters not.
Okay, great. Thank you, sir. Okay, my next question. How can consultants help governments and businesses navigate the growing influence of decentralized finance and digital currencies?
Digital currencies. Did you mention that? Did I hear you properly?
Yeah, sure. So,
Well,
how
digital.
can, yeah,
How
sorry,
can
sir?
consultants?
How can consultants help governments and businesses navigate the growing influence of decentralized finance and digital currencies?
Well, from my experience, digital currencies are pretty much. I'm not going to say they are in gray area, but they are not very much, uh, as I say, mm, they are legal. That's fine, but they are not organized as normal currencies are, because normal currencies, banks control currencies, and currencies are controlled by themselves by comparison. Whereas, when we are discussing digital currencies, the value of digital currencies is always basically speculation. In my view, it's speculation. Nobody knows how one currency might rise up or crash down, and you know that, uh, my dear colleague, you know that it started from Bitcoin, and now we have how many digital currencies? I cannot even number them, and
Okay.
their value is always compared to either dollars or pounds.
Okay, good. Thank you, sir. So, what ethical considerations should political and economic consultants prioritize in an era of big data and predictive analytics?
You you're talking about ethical constraints.
Ethical constraints, yeah, sure.
Absolutely, they should, because you are aware that a large number of consultants basically advi- they are in the advisory capacity, but if they cross that boundary, then they face law enforcement, legal problems, and that's why this what you just mentioned, and and you mentioned it properly. The ethical issue is quite important, also because that actually determines their career. For let's make it simple. Uh, Again, I will go back to former and current U.S. president. You know that many of his consultants or assistants or advisors got even jailed and fined for breaking the law, basically not playing by the rules that they should have played. And that happens throughout the world, but in United States is little bit larger because of their power and because of their influence. But you know as well as I do that from his last team, I think five or six of them uh, not just got fired, but they got jail sentences. Some pleaded guilty, some did not. Some were pardoned later, but the majority of the team was of Trump team was pretty tainted, if I can use that word.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So, okay, Queen, my last question. How will climate change and sustainability consent reshape consulting strategies in politics and economics?
That is also a very important question because you have the idea that there are parties, political parties, who do not believe in climate change, mostly come from center right or far right parties. Uh, you have that they're populists basically. Bolsonaro in Brazil, uh, Trump United States. There are some countries in Europe, but the majority of the countries in the world that have signed the Kyoto Agreement, they do believe in climate change. And I do believe, I myself do believe in climate change. I'm convinced of that because of the weather and because of all these floods that you have throughout the world. They are not as catastrophic as they can might be, but they are happening. The rise of temperatures that is happening throughout the world, and it is something. The job of consultants is to basically convince the politicians that that is actually true, as well as the job of the other consultants is to convince the certain political parties that there are no climate changes. But for myself and in my view, I believe in climate change and I believe that the world should actually decide to do something about it if we want to have certainty for future generations when they come.
Okay. So thank you, sir. Thank you for the useful answers. They have been really helpful in clarifying the topic. I hope the participants were able to follow along and understand the key points you shared. So your insights have certainly added value to the session. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we come to the close of this insightful session, it's my privilege to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks to our esteemed guest speaker today, Dr. Urtak Hamiti. His deep expertise and thought provoking perspectives on the role of consultants in politics and economics have given us valuable insights into the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. The knowledge he shared today will undoubtedly help us better understand the impact of strategic consulting in shaping policies, economics, and businesses in the 21st century. So, Dr. Hamiti, we truly appreciate the time and effort you have been taken to engage with us and share your experiences and answer our questions also. So, your emphasis on data-driven decision making and strategic foresight and structured execution has left us with important takeaways that will inspire future leaders and professionals in this field. So, on behalf of everyone here, we express our sincere gratitude and look forward to more such enriching discussions in the future also. So, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for everything.
Allow me, my dear colleague, allow me to thank you, thank Mastering Up, and for offering me this opportunity. I do believe, I do hope, let's not say believe, but I do hope that I've met the expectations, and I do hope that we will cooperate in the future as well in other specific topics. It will be my pleasure and honor to be and help Mastering Up.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And just wait for the few seconds. So can you able to see the virtual memento?
Yes, I can see that.
Yeah, okay, great. So, okay, sir, on behalf of Passing Up, we present this virtual memento as a tribute to our guest speaker, Dr. Urda Hamiti. So, your insightful contributions have enriched our knowledge and inspired us profoundly. So, this token of appreciation symbolizes our gratitude for your expertise and dedication. So, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us and shaping our understanding in profound ways. So, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And definitely, we will meet in future collaborations also, surely.
We'll be in touch for sure.
Sure, sure. Definitely, sir. Sure.
You have a great day.
Yeah,
Cheers.
sure, sir. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So take care. Bye bye, sir.
Cheers.
Yeah.